Guys, I have 18 books that I got this month. As you guys may know, I'm technically on a book buying ban, so my goal is to read more books than I buy. So I'm trying to cut down a little bit on the buying. And for the most part, that is working. However, this month I was required to splurge a little bit. Half required, half not really, but you know. So in this book haul, I have 18 books to show you. However, there's not all the books that I got in August. If you have not seen my August unboxing video, I will link it right here for you. You can check it out. And yeah, there's quite a few books there. So you should definitely go check that out if you haven't seen it already, because I have some really, really exciting books that I got. And I just... So for this first pile of books, I had to buy them for university. This semester, I'm doing a children's literature course and I have to read a bunch of books. It ranges from picture books up to young adult novels, so I'm actually really excited about it, and that's why I'm sharing them with you today, because some of them are really exciting. I'll start off with the picture books. Firstly, I have The Wolf Story, What Really Happened to Little Red Riding Hood by Toby and Izhar Cohen. It's the Little Red Riding Hood story, but from the wolf's perspective, and he's trying to give you his side of the whole thing, and it kind of causes you to question the original fairy tale in a sense. But yes, there's that one. I've already read these ones as well, by the way. But the second one is Beware of the Storybook Wolves by Lauren Child, and this is another one that has a bunch of different fairy tale characters, including the wolves, but there's also like Cinderella, fairy godmother, and things like that. So there's those two. And now moving on to the novels. I have Pookie, Aleera Is Not My Boyfriend by Stephen Herrick. This is one that I've already read. It is written in verse and it was a really, really cute story. This is set in primary school, so a bunch of grade 6 students, and I think there's about 10 different characters that it follows. 2 of them are adults, the rest of them are children, and it was really adorable. The next one I have is The We Free Men by Terry Pratchett. One of the books that I was most excited about for this course, because I've heard some fantastic things about Terry Pratchett's Discworld series, so I was really happy that I had the opportunity to finally dive into it, and I definitely want to read more. It's about Tiffany Akin. Her brother is taken by this evil queen, and she meets up with these wee free men. They're kind of like little pixies, something like that. The next one I am currently reading, and it was one I was definitely the most excited about out of all of these books, and that is Stardust by Neil Gaiman. I read The Graveyard Book earlier this year by Neil Gaiman, loved it, very excited to read more by him, and I've been wanting to read this for a while, so I'm just so happy that I have the opportunity to do so. I'm only about 30 pages in so far, but I do need to read it for this week, so that's my plan. These last 3 I have not read but will be doing soon, and the first one is The Fire Eaters by David Almond, and I don't know what any of these are about, to be honest, but from what I can tell, it seems like the Third World War is about to start. I don't know if the story, if it's like literally about to start, or if the main character's world is just crashing and burning, so we'll have to see, I guess. I also have Mortal Engines by Philip Reeve. This looks kind of like a game to me, like the cover of it. Apparently there's like cyborgs and assassins and stuff like that, so it looks pretty cool. And the last one is The Red Shoe by Ursula Dubosarsky. And this is set in Sydney in the 1950s during the Petrov affair. So yeah, I'm really excited about it. Those are all of the books that I had to buy for university. Now moving on to the books that I got when I was at Book Expo Australia. Some of these I received for free because they had show bags, and then I think one of the seminars I was in, I was able to receive a signed copy, and the rest I did by myself. Firstly, I have this gorgeous book, Saree by Su Dharmapala, something like that. It is a chunky book, but this cover is fabulously gorgeous. Like, look how shiny it is. It's beautiful. I think this is set in Sri Lanka, which is ravaged by a bloody civil war, and the main character, she becomes a sari maker. I'm not too sure what else there is to this story, but I'm actually really excited. I don't know why, just this cover is so beautiful. So beautiful. I also received Still Alice by Lisa Genova. This is an adult book about Alice, and she's, I think, 50 years old, and she has Alzheimer's. It sounds like this could be quite an emotional book. I'm intrigued. I'm very intrigued. I also received Combustion by Steve Worland, and I have this one signed. This is the one that I received when I was in the writing a blockbuster talk. And I think that this one is a sequel, but I definitely plan on picking up the first one and reading them because just it was awesome hearing the authors talking about their books and like how they went about writing everything. And I haven't really read any thrillers, so this is a chance to get started with them. I also picked up another book from an author that was talking in the character development seminar, and that is Akin by Robin Murarka. I think I butchered the name. I'm butchering all of these names, but this was self-published and I also got this one signed, and this one, I'm not too sure exactly what this is about, but there seems like there's a lot of mystery behind it and I don't really want to know what it's about because of this. Just from the synopsis and little snippets from it, seems like there's just a lot of intrigue. So I want to go into this not really knowing what it's about and seeing where it takes me. This next book that I bought, Adventure Time! It's a mystery one called Candy Capers, and it's got Peppermint Butler and Cinnamon Bun. It's like a graphic novel. So, just, need I say more? Adventure Time, man. Adventure Time. Can't wait. And now for these last books. In my Book Expo Australia video, I talked about the Booktopia stall where they had a section of books and all you had to do was donate $1 coin for a book, and that's to help support the Indigenous Literacy Foundation, and I picked up 2 books. The first one was 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini, and I've already read this one. I borrowed it a little while ago, but I fell in love with this book. It was absolutely beautiful, an amazing story, and I really want to reread this one, so I thought it was a great opportunity to do so. So I picked up the book and it was only $1, so yeah. In this story, it's set in, I think, a town or city called Kabul, and Mariam, she's married off to this man called Rashil, and she meets a girl named Layla, and they develop this kind of friendship, and things get really intense because the Taliban takes over, and it just, it's heartbreaking and beautiful, and just read it, read it, read it, read it. This next book is Half of a Yellow Sun by, no idea how to pronounce that name. I don't know what it was. When I saw this book, I was just completely drawn to it because I'm pretty sure that I've seen this cover, this title somewhere. I know that someone has talked about this book. I was really intrigued and really wanted to pick it up. So when I saw this, something just clicked and I decided to get it because, again, only $1. And this is set in Nigeria and there's a civil war going on, and I think there's 3 main characters in this one and their lives kind of weave together. Now moving on to my last 3 books. This first one I did buy. I'm actually really fascinated by this. Is a non-fiction book. I don't ever buy non-fiction, but it's Elephants on Acid and Other Bizarre Experiments. I think it's by Alex Boas or something like that. It's basically about a bunch of scientific experiments that are insane, a little crazy. It sounds like it's going to be really entertaining. Obviously there's things about elephants on acid, and I think zombie kittens and cockroach races, weird things like that. It sounds amusing, and I think this is one that I can just kind of flick through and read a few things here and there because it's not really a story or anything, and there's just kind of little snippets just talk about all these various experiments. So yeah, very fascinated by this. Can't wait to dive into it and see what I learn. Woo! And my last 2 are books for review. The first one I was sent by Bookworld, part of the Reader Rewards program, and for this month I'm reading The Narrow Road to the Deep North by Richard Flanagan. This is a World War II novel set in a Japanese prisoner of war camp, and I think it focuses around an Australian prisoner, and I'm just really fascinated by historical fiction that's set around the World War II era. A lot of my favorite novels are set during this time period, so I think I'm gonna love it. I've heard fabulous things about it. This next one I am so excited about. I cannot wait to dive into it, and I just want to thank Random House so much for sending this my way, and that is The Iron Trial by Holly Black and Cassandra Clare. This one's about magic. Yes! And there's this thing called the Magisterium and the Iron Trial. Whatever this place is, I have no idea. The synopsis doesn't seem to describe it much at all. This is another one that I'm going to be reading really soon because I think it's published in September, early September, so gonna read this one and review it ASAP. Cannot wait! And that is it for my haul this month. A wonderful, beautiful pile. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video as well. If you've read any of the books that I've showed you, I'd love to hear your thoughts down below, especially some of the ones that I picked up at Book Expo Australia. I'd love to hear more about those and if they're good or not. And yeah, that's all. I will see you guys very soon with my wrap up and TBR video, and until then, bye!